Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Subhashish Mishra and today's topic of discussion is on basics of NumPy for machine learning and data science. Before we start, if you are new to my channel, please subscribe, like, share and turn on the notification bell so that you will be notified whenever any new video gets uploaded, as I'm constantly uploading videos on machine learning and data science. Now let's get started. So here we are in the Jupyter notebook and we will start with the NumPy basics. So as we know that in the previous videos we have studied that we can create a list like this way. List 1 is, let's say we have a list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and now we can make the list into an array. So to convert any list into an array, we have to go ahead and use the NumPy function. Okay, so we will import NumPy. Once it has been imported, we will do np dot array and we will provide the list. So basically we are casting the list into np.array, numpy.array. So it will convert the entire list into an array. So this is what we have received is a one-dimensional array. Okay. Now we can also have a two-dimensional array using lists. So we can do it like list2, which is, let's say we have a nested list 1, 2, 3, and another one is 4, 5, 6. Another one is 7, 8, 9. Let's say we have these three lists sublists inside this list 2. Okay, now if we will cast the same list 2 into a NumPy array, then we will be able to get it as a two-dimensional NumPy array. So here we have a two-dimensional NumPy array. Now how we can be able to know that it is a one-dimensional or two-dimensional NumPy array? Based on the brackets. So here we have one square bracket, so it's a one-dimensional array. Here we have two square brackets, so this we can consider as a two-dimensional array. So unlike the range function, in NumPy there is a function called as arrange. To remember, we can simply say it as range function used to create an array, which is called as arrange. Okay, so we can create a range in NumPy like np.arrange. Sorry, we have made a mistake. np.arrange, and we can provide any specific number and it will create an array of that specific number of indexes. Okay, so we have asked for 11 number of data to be created and it has created from 0 to 10. As we know already, the Python indexing starts from 0, so it will go ahead from 0 to 10. Now if we want only even numbers, then we can specify the third argument in step 2. So here the first argument is the start and the second argument is the end. The start is 0, the second argument is 11, which is the end. Now we can be able to specify a third argument called as step. If we want to specify anything else specific, let's say we want to create any kind of even number of array, then we can do as np.range. Start is 0, end is 11, and 2 is the sign for the even numbers. So it will create the array of even numbers. Okay. Now, if we want to create an array of specific numbers, then we can be able to create it using dot the number we want. So we can have np dot zeros, and the number of entries we want, we can provide it over here. So it will create an array, one-dimensional array of zeros. We can also do it like np dot ones, and we can provide 5 as the number of units we want, and it will create a array for us. Now we can also be able to create a two-dimensional array. What we have to do is like we just have to provide a tuple inside it. So let's say we want a 3 cross 3 number of 3 rows and 3 columns. So we can provide np.ones and inside a tuple 3 comma 3, and it will create an array of 3 cross 3. Here the first 3 represents the number of rows 1, 2, 3, and the second 3 represents the number of columns, which is 1, 2, 3. Alright, so we can use line space for evenly spaced number between a certain range. So if we want to create like 5 to 10 and 5 entries between a certain range, so we can be able to use line space for that, and it will create the even equally specified spaced numbers between a certain range. How we can be able to create is np dot line space, and we provide start and the end and the number of entries we want. Okay, so 0 is the start, 10 is the end, and the number of entries is 5. So it creates 5 entries: 0, 2.5, 5, 7.5, and 10. Notice that each and every is evenly spaced. Okay. Now let's discuss about identical array. What is identical array? It's like if you remember in mathematics, if we have all the diagonals as 1 present and all other entries as 0, then we call this as a diagonal matrix or an identity matrix. Okay, so matrix is nothing but an array over here. Okay, so we can be able to create an identical array or matrix using np dot eye, and if we want to create the identical array of 7 cross 7 matrix, then we can provide the 7, and it will create a identical matrix of 7 cross 7. Notice everything else is 0 except this single dimension, which is 1. Okay, we can also have array of random numbers. So we can have array of random numbers. Okay, so for that, what we can be able to create is like np dot random is the method which NumPy has, and in random dot rand, and inside that, if we want to create, let's say 5 random numbers, okay, so we can specify it as 5, and it will create an array of 5 random numbers from 0 to 1. Okay, this is the one important point to notice. So if we also want a 2-dimensional array, so this is a single dimensional array. Okay, if we want to create any 2-dimensional array, we can be able to create it using np dot random dot rand, and we can specify the number of rows and number of columns. Let's say 5 cross 5. So it will create an array of 5 cross 5, and each and every number is uniform distribution from 0 to 1. Okay, we also can have random integers not ranging 0 to 1. So here each and every case, whenever you are creating any random number generated array, each and every time it is creating numbers between 0 to 1. So if we want that to create an array which is not between 0 to 1 range, then we can be able to create it in this way: np.random as usual dot random integer. Okay, so in random integer again we have to specify this low value, which is let's say 0, and the high value, let's say we call it as 1000, and then we have to specify the number of inputs we want. Okay, if you will do shift tab, you can be able to see the docstring of it: low, high, and the size. So the size is, let's say 15. So it will create an array, 1-dimensional array of 15 numbers ranging between 0 to 1000. All are random numbers. Okay. Now let's discuss one more important point about NumPy, which is reshaping. So we can reshape one NumPy array. Okay. If we want to reshape a 1-dimensional array into 2-dimensional array, then we can be able to create that. So let's take an example. Is like, let's say we have an array and we create it using the arrange function. The start is 0 and end is 25. Okay. Now if we will see array of 1, it is 0 to 24. Okay, 25 numbers. Now if we want to reshape it, then we can be able to do it in this way. Array1 dot reshape 5 cross 5. 5 number of rows and 5 number of columns. And it will do the reshape. Okay, notice that to reshape we need to check that the total number should be same. Like 5 rows and 5 columns implies 25. Okay, the total length of array we have created is 25. Okay, so if it exceeds 25 or it is less than 25, then it won't be able to create. To give it a try, we will give it a reshape by 5 cross 4. Then it will show us a value error. If we will do it as 5 cross 6 also, it will show us a value error. Cannot reshape array of size 25 into shape 5 from 5 cross 6. That means 30 units and we have only 25 available. Okay, so we have to reshape it in such a way like it will cover from start till end. Okay, now let's discuss one more important thing about array, like mean and max. Okay, so we have this array from 0 to 24. Okay, now if we want to see the mean of it, we can be able to say that array1 dot mean, and it will show us the minimum value, right? Now array1 of max, if you will do, it will show us the maximum value. All right, now we can also find the position of mean and max. We can find the position of mean and max. So for that we have a very good function in NumPy which is called as the array for which we want to find out the mean and maximum value argument and argmin. So it will specify the index, at which index the number is present. So the mean value is 0 over here and its index is 0. Similarly, we can be able to see the max value also. So array1 dot argmax will show us the index of the number that we want. Okay, 24 is the highest number or the maximum number and its index is 24, as the indexing from in Python starts from 0 and ends at n minus 1. Okay, now we can find the shape of array also. Okay, these are small functions which will be used whenever we will be doing important machine learning algorithms, so please pay attention to this. Okay, so array1 dot shape will give us the shape of the array. Now 25 comma 0 comma, and it is not saying anything else, that means it's a one dimensional array. If we have any kind of dimension, then it will show us like the dimension of it. Let's say that we create array1 dot reshape it is to 5 cross 5. Now if we say array3 dot shape will show us 5 cross 5, 5 number of rows and 5 number of columns. So it is showing that we have 25 rows and 1 column. Okay, now we can also find the data type of our array. Okay, so to find a data type of our array, just a simple thing we have to do is like dtype. Once you type in this function, it will show us the data type. So as the numbers are integer, so it shows us int32. We can also be able to do the indexing as we are doing list. The indexing is completely same as it was there in the list. If you are not aware of it, I will link it in the I button and also in the description below. I will suggest please go ahead and check it. Okay, so but if we will be discussing few of the methods over here. So if we want to find out the index of array1, index 1 of array1, so we can be able to find it out using this. Okay, similarly as we have done in list, you can also go ahead and find a chunk of the indexing using the using the colon notation. Okay, we provide the start and the end, and it will give us the index from the start to end. Okay, all right, now let's discuss about broadcasting. So we can broadcast an array, like let's say broadcasting is nothing but replacing few options. Let's say we have the array 1 is like 0 to 24. If we want to broadcast array 1 of, let's say 0 to 6, comes out as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If we want to make them as 55, we assign them as 55. So once this is being assigned, if we print the array 1, we will be able to see that from 0 to 6, the number has been changed to 55. Okay, so this is called as broadcast. Let's see the indexing of the two-dimensional array. Now here we have seen the indexing of one-dimensional array. Now let's see the indexing of two-dimensional array. So we have array 3 with us, which is a 5 cross 5 matrix, right? Now there are two ways we can be able to create a two-dimensional indexing. One is array 3, and then we provide the number of rows, we provide the row index and the column index, and it will give us the value for us, which is 55. 0 and 0 is 55. The other way of doing is, which is the more convenient way, you provide the row and the column over here only within a single bracket notation. It gives you the same result. Okay, we can also slice and get a chunk of two-dimensional array using indexing, like in this way. Let's say we have array 3 of, so here it comes as 55, 55, 8 and 9. So how it is being derived? Let's break down one by one. Okay, so array 3 of colon 2. So anything else before the second row should be printed. Okay, so second number row is what? 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So before that, what is the row? 55, 55, all the rows, 50, all the entries in this first row 55. The second row in the entry comes as 55, 6, 7, 8, 9. It will show us that only. Okay. Now we also have conditional array selection. Okay, what is the conditional array selection? Let's say we have the array 3 is like this. Okay, and now if we say that array 3 greater than 20, let's say, so it gives us a values of true, false, true, false, true, false. Okay, now if I'll cast it into array 3, then it will print us only the values which are greater than 20. Okay, and which are less than 20 will be discarded. So it will print us only the true values. Okay, now let's see about a few arithmetic operations, few basic arithmetic operations that are there in NumPy. So NumPy arrays can have some subtraction, multiplication, addition, multiplication, subtraction, all of these things available with them. Okay, So we have array1 available with us. What we can be able to do is like say it as array sum, array1 plus array1 give us array sum, and we can be able to print the array sum. Okay, so here what we'll do is that array1 and array1, each and every value in array1 will be summed up, and it will show us the sum value. So 55 plus 55, 110. Similarly, it summed up everything else. Similarly, we can be able to do this subtraction also. So here it will give us array sub result as 0 because each and every value is same. Okay. Now we also can have multiplication. And so on. Okay, there are a few more basic functionality that we need to look after. It's like they will be used in machine learning models. One is we can be able to find out the square root. Okay, we have a square root function in NumPy. So np.sqrt, and then we provide the array for which we want the square root. It will give us the square root value of each and every number of that specific array. Okay. If we do exponential, if we want to find out the exponent, then we can be able to also do it using np.exp. np.exp will give us the exponent of each and every index of the array, each and every entry of the array. Okay. We can also be able to do like np.log, which will give us the logarithmic value of each and every entry of the array. Okay, these are all the things which will be used in case of normalization and standardization process. And once that is done, we will jump into the machine learning algorithm building. Until then, stay tuned and enjoy machine learning. Thank you.